What is up, y'all? This is Andy with Poster Grind, and today I'm going to show you the quick and easy way to create a blurred, grungy photocopy effect. We'll be using the path blur, the filter gallery, and some awesome textures to create this cool image. All right, y'all, today I'm going to be working with an image size of 20 inches wide, 13.5 inches high, and a resolution of 200. You're going to want to get yourself a cool image to work with. I found this one over at envato.com. I put the affiliate link in the description below. Also, go check out texturelabs.org to get yourself some cool photocopy texture. I'll put the exact image name of this down below as well. The first move is you're going to want to make your image black and white. So I'm just going to adjustment layer, black and white. And now the next thing you're going to want to do is go to new layer and make an exact copy of the bottom layer. To do that, you hit Shift, Option, Command E, and then go to that layer you just created, right click, go to Convert to Smart Object. Now, I just like to have extra layers, so I'm just going to hit Command J to make an extra layer. Now, on that new layer, we're going to add some blur. So go up to Filter, Blur Gallery, and then go to Path Blur. As soon as you're in Path Blur, you're going to want to hit Command H so that you get this arrow to appear. And now on the arrow, we're just going to drag it to the left and give it a little bit of an angle. Now over here in the Path Blur panel, we're going to go from Basic Blur to Rear Sync Flash. That's going to allow our image to pop through a little bit better. Now on Speed, we're just going to crank it up a little and try to go to 125 or something close to that. Then on Taper, we're going to leave that at 20%. And then here on Centered Blur, you're going to want to make sure that's unchecked. Over here on End Speed Point, we can increase that into the 300s. I have mine at 380. Once you're satisfied with your results, hit OK. Now I'm going to hit Command H and get rid of our guides. Then I'm going to go to New Layer and once again make an exact copy of the below layers by hitting Shift, Option, Command E. I'm going to right click, Convert to Smart Object. And now we can go up to our filter gallery. So we're going to go to Filter, Filter Gallery. And once you're in Filter Gallery, you can position your image so that it's front and center. We're going to be using two filters, both grain and film grain. So I'm going to work with grain first, which can be found in the texture folder. And since I've already done this, it'll probably show up with our adjustments already made. So once you have your grain, go to Intensity. I have mine set at 18 and the contrast set at 68. And then on the grain type, this is kind of the important part where it's going to give you the scan lines. So go from regular to horizontal. And that gives our horizontal scan lines like a photocopy machine. Now we're going to add another filter layer by going to the plus sign, hitting that. And then on our drop-down menu, I'm going to go up to Film Grain. And on Film Grain, I have it set at 4, and then I have the highlight area 0 and the intensity at 10. And once you're happy, hit OK. And now we have this really cool photocopy effect. If you guys have learned anything up until this point, please hit that like button and subscribe now. It really helps the channel. Now, from here, go ahead and hit your mask button. And on the mask, hit B on your keyboard and make sure you're painting with black. And then if you have parts of the composition that you want to have be seen a little more, just paint that out like so. And as soon as you're happy with those results, let's go ahead and add our photocopy texture. So I'm going up to our texture and I'm just going to increase the size so that it hits our whole composition. And then I'm going to hit Command J because we're going to be using two of the same layers to get an even better effect. Now I'm going to hide that top layer and just work with this bottom one. I'm going to drop this down to screen on our blending modes, and that gives us some really cool texture, some really cool paper texture. But we're not done. Let's go to that other layer, activate it, and then on this layer, we're going to go to our blending mode, multiply, And then we're going to drop the opacity down to 15%. And then on top of that layer, we're going to add a curves adjustment layer. And we're going to attach it to that other layer by hitting Option Command G. And then on the curves, we're just going to pump up the whites and just mess around with it until you get some cool texture coming through. Something like that. And there you go, guys. We have this really realistic Xerox photocopy effect grunged out that you can use on your next project.